Greetings and welcome back to the Road to the Great Canadian Open Winter 2026. My name is Clarence and this is my video series as you follow me as I paint up my Brotherhood Without Banners army 1 hour a day, 1 day at a time. So the whole point of this series is to show you, to help you, if you are a person who is having trouble painting, if you need inspiration, if you need someone to paint with, how to paint an army essentially. And I'm using a very simple technique like Slapchop. It's a very new painter friendly technique. And even for people who've been painting for a long time, if you feel a bit burnt out, if you need some motivation, this is a way to get an army done fairly quickly, fairly efficiently. And a slap-chopped army, while not the best painted army in the world, is way better than just primed or colored plastic. So break out your brushes, break out your contrasts, and join me and follow me and do it with me. The real trick, of course, is to actually just paint on a regular basis. Paint a little bit when you can, I'm doing an hour a day, but if you want to do half an hour every day or 1 hour every other day or 3 hours on the weekend, something on a regular basis is the key. And yeah, you can just see my incremental progress each episode, right? It's not like night and day. I think for a couple episodes it was just metal on these pikemen, for example, but now they're getting close to being done. So yeah, pick up a brush, try it out. And just put some time in. If it helps, put on a timer, watch a TV show in the background, listen to a podcast. All those things help make the time fly. And I think in time, you will also enjoy that time, enjoy that quiet, enjoy that, moment where you get to just let your mind wander as your brush moves. So that's that for the preachy rant. Next, folks, if you are in the Greater Toronto area around January 10th or 11th, please come on down and join us for the Great Canadian Open. It is my tournament that I've run for several years now. It's a 32-player event over 2 days, 5 rounds of A Song of Ice and Fire. Pretty vanilla, pretty standard, 2-list format, nothing too wild. And we've had tons of players from all over the GTA come, from Kitchener, Waterloo. We're hoping for people from London, from Windsor, from North Bay, and further out, from Ottawa, Gatineau, Montreal, Quebec City, and further out. Please join us. It's going to be a great time. There'll be lots of cool prizes on hand, but more importantly, it's going to be great games against great people. So please buy your tickets. There is a link to the tickets below. January 10th and 11th, Great Canadian Open Winter 2026. All right, folks, that's the promotion out of the way. Let's take a look at where we're at and what the next step is. Alrighty, this is where we're picking up. So last session, we applied on the Dark Earth textured basing material from AK, and we've had several hours to dry, so we're just going to try and finish up here, folks. We're going to dry brush the top with Ricard's Flesh. We're going to dry brush from different directions to make sure it gets an even coating and lessens the brush strokes. We're going to rim the bases with Mordenfran Brown twice, and then we're going to apply on some static grass, the winter tufts, I should say, from Army Painter to finish them up. So we're going to do all those steps and come back when they're done, and they will hopefully look pretty glorious. See you soon. 1 hour of work starts now. 1 hour later, we are back, and we are completely done the tray and the 2 characters. So as per usual, I dry brush the top with Ricard's Flesh. To make sure I get an even coating, I brush it from all different angles. And then when that's done, I rim the bases with Mordenfran Brown twice. You gotta do it twice because 1 coat is too thin. The actual tray I did 3 times because it didn't go on very smoothly. And then lastly, I put on some tufts from Army Painter. I chose the winter theme. So when we are done now, our second last tray, let's take a look at the whole army shot and what's been accomplished. And here is the group shot of the work in progress so far. So we are 6 trays down with a gaggle of attachments. So just to quickly go over what we've got done here. We got the originals back here. We got the peasants. We've got the archers. And then we've got the sworn knights, which we painted next. And then we got the kingsmen. We've got the golden gunnery crossbowmen. And then we've got our latest achievement, the High Garden Pikemen. And in the middle, we've got our attachments. Kind of interesting in this edition of the game where you really have to paint an attachment nowadays since you get free points. And Brotherhood in particular get 5 free points. So you can always paint up extra guys. So we've got Tom Seven Strings, we've got Angui, we've got Hot Pie, we got the Double Thoros, we've got the Fortune Seeker, we got Ravella, and we got the Lightning Lord himself, Beric Dondarrion. So 63 episodes in. Bolton, and we've got 6 trays plus dudes. Makes it roughly 10 episodes per tray and change. So, yeah, pretty proud of the progress. And I'm also very excited to have one more tray to go, and then we can wrap this up. So thanks for watching, folks. And again, hopefully you're enjoying the series. Hopefully you can share this with somebody who would benefit from a painting series and some help in how to paint an army. And we got some bonus content, so stay tuned for another battle report.
Yeah, 100%.
Alrighty, we are back at X Planet Games, and we're off against Steven today, and we got his Bolton. So we've got over here Commander Ramsey Bolton with Reek in Spearman. We've got Sour Allen in the Archer's Classic combo over here. We've got Damon Dance for me in Blackguard. He gives him Bolts and Courage for more attack dice. And we've got Flayed Men with no attachment, because sadly Boltons have no attachments yet for Cavalry. NCU-wise, we've got Roose Bolton, we've got Jane Poole who can steal first turn, and we've got Fat Walda. Today, I'm playing something a little bit different. I'm actually using my Barrack list, which is fully painted, barring for this one NCU. So, over on the left flank, we've got Sworn Knights with the Fortune Seeker. We've got Hot Pie and Gold Gunnery Crossbowmen. We've got the man, the myth, the legend, Beric Dondarrion in the Kingsmen. And we've got Angui in the Brotherhood Archers. NCUs are Ravella, Thoros of Mir, and Varys. We are playing a Game of Thrones. For objectives, we have over here, weaken token in combat. Over here, we've got throw out a panic token. In the middle, we've got Sunring in combat. Over here, we've got throw out a vulnerable token. And over here, we've got precision. Terrain-wise, Steven won the roll, and he dropped a Wherewith on the middle. Interesting choice because obviously Bolton's leaning to panic. Maybe he's had bad luck with panic, so we'll see how that goes. Because I got 2 range units, I dropped down a Palisade first. Steven countered with a Corpse Pile, and I dropped another Palisade over here. We diced off. Steven won the roll. He chose to be on that side, and I'm choosing to go first. So we'll see you at the end of round 1. End of round 1. We had a very vanilla round. So essentially, he pushed up. I pushed up. I stayed at a 14 to make sure I can't get shot, and I just went here to protect the flank, and that's it. So not much happened, just pushing up. End of round 1 coming up. Alright, end of round 2. I misspoke last video. What happened? So most of our stuff just kind of pushed into position. I took some random shots here, did a couple of wounds. And I guess the real action came when the Blackguard charged Barrack. He needed a 4, unfortunately didn't make it. Barrack charged back, past the Horrific Visage, dealt a couple of wounds. The big decision for Steven, I think, was what to do with the Flayed Men. And we came to the conclusion that he had a couple of options, but the option we stuck with was push them to the edge of the token, so they're on the token, in a position where next round they can reach out and touch things. It did mean, though, that my Knights could then reinforce the middle and attack the Blackguard, which they did, and unfortunately Steven failed the panic test. Even with Jane Poole's influence, still failed the panic test, and now they're down to 3. I'm going to lead the round. I'm going to try and finish them off. Let's see how that goes. So right now, Boltons are up 2-1. On to round 3. So I was feeling pretty confident rolling into round 3 because I was going to take the sword and kill off the Blackguard. And then Steven reminded me he's got Jane Poole, who's now on my side. So Jane Poole stole the first activation, and with Walda, healed 4 wounds onto the Blackguard, sorry. I then took Ravella onto the sword, swung hard, brought them down back to 1, which is pretty brutal. He then charged a Flayed Man into my rear, did some damage, but Brotherhood has so much healing that they were able to come back pretty healthily. With Sentinel, I was able to surround the Flayed Men, but I forgot to take the horse, so they retreated into safety. So I pushed all my trays towards the middle instead to try and converge on his archers. They went for a long charge into my archers, and they failed. So at the end of it, I stayed here, shot them, walked to the middle, so I control 2. He controls none, unfortunately, so the score is now 4-2, and it is back to Brotherhood round 4. Alright, end of round 4. We're going to call it a game. So how did the round start? I started by charging the Knights into the flank, did some damage. He retreated off the horse cleverly, so they're stranded there. The tail of the game really came down to this side here. So, I think I took the sword and shot them a little bit, crippled them down, and then Steven had to make the tough choice of, like, what do I do with this unit? He can't just sit there, he's going to get shot. But the problem is if he charges, Sentinel meant that these units were going to be able to react and help out. And that's exactly what happened. He charged in, did do some damage, actually, because he had harsh punishments on, which brought him back to full attacks. But then I did heal a Thoros on the crown as well, so they aren't as crippled as they might look. They settled forward, shot in the flank, he failed the panic test, and then they died. And at that point, with only 2 trays left and kind of like far from each other, we decided to call it, because I'm going to control that. I'll probably control this one over here. So it is 5-2, something like that. But we'll just call it there, and we'll leave it at that. So, Steve, any comment about what you think was the TSN turning point, or like what was like significant?
Hard to say. There was many plays that my dice did not help.
100%. Going back in time, would you do the same move where then Flademan stayed there instead of guarding the flank of the black card?
Probably.
Yeah?
Probably. Because I think that they did the most damage with that flank.
So you're saying that you would stay on the objective and not like come here? Yeah, it's a tough one because the Knights swinging twice in a row with rerolls is pretty rough.
But the big play was the field charging.
The field charge there is also big.
Blackguard shouldn't have.
Yeah,
Shouldn't have failed.
that's true. That's true.
He charged.
That's
Should
true.
have weeded him out.
I was going to, but then I was like, you know what?
Blood! Blood!
Yeah, I had to.
Yeah, that's how Boltons do it. All right, cool. We'll see you next time, folks. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.